Have you ever wondered why black athletes dominate the field, but rarely control the teams, the money, or the power behind the scenes? Follow if you've never heard this story. Because the truth about African Americans in professional sports is deeper than championships. It's about control, and it started long before the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, or Major League Baseball ever allowed black players to participate. The fear that built the barrier. In the early 1900s, American sports owners already knew something. Black athletes were extraordinary, faster, stronger, more explosive. And that terrified the gatekeepers of white-controlled leagues, so they created barriers. In baseball, the so-called Gentleman's Agreement banned black players from Major League Baseball after the 1880s. Instead, black athletes built their own league, the legendary Negro Leagues. And what happened there shocked the world. Players like Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, and Cool Papa Bell became legends. Satchel Paige once joked, "Don't look back, something might be gaining on you," because nobody could hit his fastball. But white major league teams refused to sign them, not because they weren't good, because they were too good. 1947, the wall cracks. Then came Jackie Robinson. In 1947, Robinson joined the Brooklyn Dodgers, breaking baseball's color barrier. But here's the part people rarely talk about. Robinson was chosen not just for talent. He was chosen because he could endure abuse without retaliating. Fans screamed slurs. Opposing players threatened him. Some teammates refused to play beside him. Yet Robinson stayed silent. Why? Because if he reacted even once, the experiment might end. Integration wasn't just about skill, it was about surviving humiliation. The NFL's quiet segregation football had its own version. Black players briefly appeared in the National Football League in the 1920s. Then suddenly, they disappeared. From 1934 to 1946, the NFL quietly banned black players entirely. No official rule, just silent agreement. The league reintegrated only when pressure came from Los Angeles leaders before the Rams moved into the publicly funded Los Angeles Coliseum. That's when Kenny Washington and Woody Strode joined the Los Angeles Rams in 1946. But integration didn't mean equality. Black players were steered into certain positions. Running back, wide receiver, defense, leadership roles were off limits. The quarterback myth. For decades, one position remained nearly untouchable: quarterback. Owners and coaches claimed black players lacked leadership, decision-making, intelligence. These coded phrases kept them out, even when the evidence proved otherwise. In 1968, Marlon Briscoe became the first black starting quarterback in modern pro football with the Denver Broncos. He threw 14 touchdowns in 5 games, but the Broncos refused to keep him at quarterback the next season. They forced him to switch to wide receiver. Years later, Briscoe said something telling. "They said I wasn't smart enough to play quarterback." The revolution begins. Then came Doug Williams. In 1988, Williams led the Washington Redskins to a Super Bowl victory. He threw 4 touchdowns in a single quarter. After the game, reporters asked him an infamous question. "How long have you been a black quarterback?" Imagine that. Not a quarterback. A black quarterback. Basketball's complicated history. In the National Basketball Association, black athletes began arriving in the 1950s. One pioneer was Earl Lloyd, who debuted with the Washington Capitals in 1950. Soon after, stars like Bill Russell changed the league forever. Russell led the Boston Celtics to 11 championships, but in Boston, fans vandalized his home, broke windows, defecated on his bed, all while he was winning titles for the city. Russell later said, "I played for the Celtics, not for Boston." The athlete activists. By the late 1960s, some athletes refused to stay silent. One of the most powerful voices was Muhammad Ali. In 1967, Ali refused to be drafted into the Vietnam War. He lost his boxing license, lost his heavyweight title, lost millions of dollars, but his stand inspired generations. Then in 1968, Olympic athletes Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised black-gloved fists during the medal ceremony. The protest shocked the world. They were expelled from the Olympics, but their image became one of the most powerful moments in sports history. The power shift that never came by, the 1980s and 1990s, something strange happened. Black athletes dominated professional sports. In the NBA today, roughly 70% of players are black. In the NFL, nearly 60% of players are black. But ownership? Almost entirely white. The first black majority owner in modern major sports came when Robert L. Johnson bought the Charlotte Bobcats in 2004. In the NFL, the first black majority owner was Shahid Khan, who purchased the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2012. But many athletes began asking the same question. Why do players dominate the field, but rarely control the franchises? The coaching ceiling. Another barrier remained coaching. For decades, black players filled rosters, but head coaches remained overwhelmingly white. This led to the creation of the Rooney Rule in 2003, requiring teams to interview minority candidates. Yet even today, black coaches remain underrepresented. In 2022, former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores filed a lawsuit accusing the NFL of racial discrimination in hiring practices. The lawsuit reignited the debate. How could a league dominated by black players still struggle with diversity in leadership? The control question. Today, black athletes generate billions of dollars for sports leagues, ticket sales, television deals, merchandise, global branding, but the real power in sports still lies in ownership, executive leadership, and league governance. The players run the game, but someone else often runs the business. Despite the barriers, black athletes changed the entire landscape of sports, from Jackie Robinson breaking baseball's color line, to Bill Russell redefining winning, to Doug Williams rewriting quarterback history. Their courage forced America to confront its contradictions. Sports became a stage where talent could not be denied, even when equality still lagged behind. Subscribe and comment if you'd like to hear more about black pioneers in professional sports, and go to my videos to see more. We don't glorify injustice, we reveal truth, so history can't repeat itself.